Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a bit more of a chatty video because I just wanted to talk about some of the books that I have been loving lately. I will do a full 5-star video once at the end of June for the second quarter of the year. I've just been reading some really good books and I kind of just want to fit them all in one video where I don't have to rush about what I'm talking about. I can just talk about a few of the books that I've been obsessed with lately and just tell you guys about it all in one video. So without further ado, let's just hop into this video. The first couple of books that I want to talk to you about are all in the On Dublin Street series. I have absolutely loved being in this story, in this little family friend group. It's definitely a found family friend group, even though some of them are related, some of them are just, it's just they're such a good group of people, and I just am so sad that I'm leaving this world. But I've talked about them in quite a few wrap-up videos, but I don't think I've ever talked about them all in one video, so I just want to do that really quickly. So those are the first books that I want to talk to you about. Okay, so the first book is the On Dublin Street, and it follows Joss and Braden. This is sort of like a friends with benefits to lovers, and Joss has a really complicated history, so she's constantly pushing Braden away, but he is just so determined, and he's such he knows exactly what he wants, and he loves Joss so much that he just will not let her get in her own way. So it's a really cute book. The second one follows Joe and Cam, and they are definitely my favorite couple of the series. I absolutely love them. They are kind of messy, which I absolutely just love, and I don't know. And Cam is just so protective of Joe. It's amazing. So Joe worked with Joss from the first book at a bar, and that's how they are connected. Joe has a hard family life, and Cam really judges her at first, but then as he gets to know her, he's her biggest defender. Whenever anybody talks badly about her, he's the one who's always going to stick up for her. It's so cute. I don't even know what to say else to say. The third book is Before Jamaica Lane, and this one follows Olivia and Nate. So Olivia is sort of Joe's step sibling. They're not actually related, but Joe's father wasn't really in the picture, but she did have a father figure who is Uncle Mick, and that is actually Olivia's dad. So that's how she's connected. And Nate is also one of Cam's best friends from the second book. I didn't love this one as much because of the miscommunication stuff in it, and also I'm just not a fan of some of the tropes that are in this one, but I still really recommend it. This one's friends to lovers. The fourth book is Fall from India Place, and it follows Hannah and Marco. So Hannah is Braden's little sister, Braden from the first book's little sister, and Marco is an older guy from school, and they meet in high school, but they have a really bad falling out and haven't seen each other, and they bump into each other quite a few years later, and he has a lot of groveling to do. So there is quite a bit of groveling. If you love a groveling hero, this is definitely it. This book is messy and angsty. If you like messy relationship, this is probably the book you're gonna like. I usually do, but I think this is just a little too messy for me. But I still, all these books I did really enjoy. Then the fifth book is Echoes of Scotland Street, which follows Cole and Shannon. Cole is the younger brother of Joe from the second book. And this was my second favorite book of this series. I just loved Cole and Shannon's relationship. Cole is he is so sweet to Shannon. Shannon had a really horrible previous relationship, and he just goes out of his way to show Shannon that she can trust him, and that she can trust men and trust people again. And there's a very big found family aspect to this book in particular, which I really love. It's workplace. He's a tattoo artist, and she is the receptionist / assistant. in the shop. And then the sixth book and last book in the like actual main part of the series is Moonlight on Nightingale Way, which is Logan and Grace's story. Logan is the older brother of Shannon from the fifth book. And so this one has a secret baby and forced proximity because they're actually neighbors, and that's how they meet. They really don't like each other at first because they're both just like annoying neighbors to each other. And then they get to know each other because she helps him out with when he finds out he's a father, and it's so good. It's really good. It's very steamy, this one. It's tumultuous. Anyways, the thing that I love most about this series is the big found family aspect of all of this. I feel like this video could just be entirely me talking about the On Dublin Street series, and I just would love that, but I don't know what else but I really highly recommend picking this up. I know it's an older series, but it's just so good. It's so heartwarming, bingeable, like everything about this series is just, I just loved it. And I'm really sad that I'm done with this series because I really liked their family and everything that went with it. Okay, so the next book I want to talk to you guys about is Longshot, which is the first book in the Hoop series by Kennedy Ryan. And this is actually a reread for me, and I don't understand how or why I gave it 4 stars in the first place. The first time I read it, like, I don't know what I was possibly thinking. I think I just gave it a 4-star because of the subject matter in it is really heavy, and I found it really difficult to read. And it is, but that's not a reason to give it 4 stars because it's so beautifully written. It's so perfect. I listened to it on audiobook format this time, and I highly recommend that version because it is really hard to read some of the things that happen in this book, and I think the audiobook format it allows you to, like, I could just sit there and listen to it when it's really tough to read, whereas I found myself not wanting to pick up the book when I was reading it physically because it was just really hard to read. So I found I had to walk away from it a lot more often when I was reading the ebook version of it rather than listening to the audiobook version. It's just so beautiful, and it's made me really want to read the rest of the series because I never did end up reading the second and third book in this trilogy, but I need to now after rereading that because I'm just obsessed now. I'm obsessed. I need to read all of Kennedy Ryan's books because it was beautiful. If for some reason you don't know what this is about, this is a sort of right person, wrong time romance where August is an NBA player and Iris is a aspiring sports marketer, and they meet at a bar when as strangers they don't know each other. They meet at the bar and they have this just undeniable connection. They can talk to each other about anything. They both they could talk about each other's their childhood, and the other just understood everything that the other person felt. Like they just understood each other at such a soul connection. They can't do anything about that connection because it turns out that Iris is dating August's biggest rival in the NBA, which is Caleb, who turns out to be just a horrible piece of crap guy, like just scum of the earth. They walk away from each other, but they meet each other. Like they have these connections throughout the years and whenever they do meet each other, it's like a day hasn't gone by. They just immediately can pick up their conversation and connection exactly like they did at the bar that first time. It's so good. It's so powerful. It's so difficult to read, but it is so worth it. And anybody who reads this book and thinks like, why didn't she leave before it got as bad as it got, is just I can't even think that people can think that way. But I saw reviews of it afterwards, people saying that, and anyways, this is a beautiful book. If for some reason you haven't picked it up, I really recommend it. I don't really follow a ton of basketball in it, but I felt like you could understand any of the references that the basketball was in it. But oh, so good. I can't. Okay, so lastly, the books I want to talk to you about are not going to be a surprise. They're not really a new obsession, but it's sort of like a refound obsession, and it is Emily Henry's books, Beach Read and Happy Place. It's not that I forget every single time I pick up her books again. Like I do annually, whenever her new book comes out, I will pick them up and I'll reread all of them. Even the ones that I don't love as much as the others, I pick them up because Emily Henry just writes the best banter I have ever read in any book ever. They all just like have different ways of communicating to each other, but it's always just so perfect for those characters. The two characters in the book just get each other and can instantly talk to each other exactly like the same way, and they have witty conversations. It's just so nice to read. I just find it makes a love story so much more powerful when they have this witty conversation banter. Like it's not just about sexual chemistry, it's that they can literally talk to each other about whatever, and they can joke around, and it makes it for such an easy, pleasurable read for me. This isn't a new obsession, but a current obsession. It is a current book obsession, so I wanted to include it anyways. I'm so happy that I read the UK version of the book with the alternate ending. I think it's amazing that she put two alternate endings that were both equally perfect for the love story. I did like the US, I think, version better, but that's just me because I like things tied up a little neater. But I think the UK version's ending is honestly probably a more perfect ending for their story. But just for me, I like the US version a bit better, but I'm so obsessed. And Happy Place, I really understand the reason why people wouldn't like this, but the connection I had with Harriet is crazy. Like everything that she was thinking in this book, I have felt at one point or another. Anyways, I could talk about Emily Henry forever, and I feel like I've talked about her books in a lot of videos lately, so sorry. I think this is the last video for a little while. I will try or at least I will try to have any Emily Henry stuff in, but she's just such a perfect summer read author for me that I'm obsessed. I will read anything she comes out with at this point. So anyways, I feel like this video is long enough. I will stop rambling on about some of my favorites. I only talked about 3 of my current obsessions, but there's quite a few more. I had to include the On Dublin Street series all in one video, and also I just wanted to put in Longshot because I can't believe I ever gave it 4 stars. And then obviously my always obsession with Emily Henry. I just felt like it all needed to be in one video for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it to the end, leave me in the comments down below what one book recently you've become obsessed with, because I will definitely pick it up. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.